All right, hey, this is Kevin from the and Lisa Fantasy Team, and you are watching the Official League Podcast. You suck, Tim.
Welcome to the Bands Make Her Dance Fantasy Football League Podcast with your hosts, Taylor LaPrairie and Joe LaFever.
What's up, guys? Welcome in to another episode of the Official League Podcast for the Bands Make Her Dance Fantasy Football League. Your hosts, Taylor LaPrairie and Joe LaFever here with very, very special guest.
Yes.
Oh, Mr. Kevin Williams. Kevin, my dude, how's it going?
What's good, guys? It's great. Feels great to be on here. I've been waiting a long time, Joe. You have like all these weak people on here, like Pooge, Tim.
I know.
I've been like, I should have been probably the first person.
I kept you waiting, man. I kept you waiting.
Most views.
Most views. Yeah, you told. So I texted Kevin last week to come on the pod, and he's like, "This will be your most viewed podcast." So I'm holding you to that. I'm hoping you're right here. And
I got you.
I'm glad to see you repping that Barry Sanders jersey over there.
Dude, you know, Barry Sanders, the Detroit legend, you know what I mean?
There you go. Love to see it. Taylor, how you doing, buddy?
I'm doing well. Drinking a great beer right now. I'm having a great week at school. Things are very good.
Is it a Modelo?
It's not a Modelo. It is. It's this Brazos Valley B-sides and rarities black #1. It's a coffee blonde ale. It is delicious. Got some good art.
That looks pretty
some
good.
Art. Look,
like
staring at the
that.
moon.
All right.
Yeah, it's really good.
I like that. Kevin, are you drinking anything tonight?
Hey, am I drinking something tonight, Joe? I'm glad you asked. Okay? I have a little surprise for you guys. I also drank this on my draft.
Oh,
But it's gonna be a quick second. You know what I mean?
Oh my god!
oh my gosh!
Oh my
Oh no, Kevin!
Chug.
It's what you
It
call a little
burns.
Pat Ron. You know
All
what I mean?
right, there you go. Well, yeah, you're
You
doing
ready
better
for the
than me.
podcast?
I've got
Oh my gosh!
I've got a bourbon barrel aged expedition stout from Bell's again. You guessed it, my boys up in KZoo. Gotta rep them. All right, hey, we got some stuff to get into today. Some news, some recaps of the matchups, new power rankings, and yes, Week 9 is out of the way, which means we have our first look at the playoff pictures. And some, spoiler alert, Kevin, it might be tough for you, but yeah, so
It hurts a little bit.
we've got our first projections in there. And of course, I was looking forward to this because we've got another round of dad jokes. And Kevin, I specifically wanted to do this with you because I think I can get you to laugh on every single one of my jokes.
Oh, Joe.
That's a challenge.
It's probably
Fighting words.
gonna be the tequila talking, but hey, we'll see.
I love it. Also, don't forget to subscribe to us on YouTube, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify. Come check out Taylor's wonderful sweater today on YouTube. It's very colorful.
You're darn right. Yeah, no, we were talking about sweaters before the show started. And I was like, hey, I got a really, really great one, and I showed him. And so you guys got to watch the video, not only for the sweater, but also to watch Kevin get a bottle of Patron from underneath the desk, and all of a sudden just chug it. That was totally unwarranted. That was awesome.
Was very impressive. All right, how about some takeaway, boys, from the weekend? What do you got for us, Taylor?
So my first thing, Dan Quinn. As soon as he leaves, the Falcons are going off. So far, they've won. They're 3-1 without him as their head coach, and the one game they lost was to the Lions by a point. So I think Dan Quinn definitely was the problem. I'm really curious to see what's going to happen with the Falcons, especially, in a couple years, Tom Brady is going to retire. It's going to be very interesting to see what that NFC South looks like without Drew Brees and Tom Brady. We'll see what happens with the Panthers. I just think that's going to be really interesting. Finally, the Falcons are free. And then the other kind of thought I had, and I know that, Joe, you're probably going to debate me on this here, but I'm not really convinced that there is like a clear-cut favorite to win the Super Bowl this year. I think the Chiefs are, if I had to put anybody, I would say it's the Chiefs, but it's tough. I think the Chiefs, like they won by 2 points against the Panthers. I think their schedule in their division right now is pretty easy. And outside of that, like the Steelers, I think, they're undefeated, but does anybody really think that they are like better than the Chiefs? No. The Ravens they can go off at any given time. It's just really, a mystery as to when that's going to happen, if they're going to do it in the playoffs. But then you look at like there's the Packers, there's the Saints, there's the Bucks. There's a lot of teams that it's just we don't know what's going to happen. So I'm think that's going to be a very, very interesting playoff season.
All right. Interesting. I'll debate that with you in a second.
That classic Joe saying interesting. Subtext. You're very wrong.
Asterisk. You're wrong. Kevin, what do you got for us from the weekend here?
So the first thing I'm going to say, Taylor might like, because he's a Minnesota fan.
There we go.
Is Dalvin Cook, when healthy, the best running back we've seen in the last decade?
Wow.
In the last decade?
Last decade, dude. I was the best running back in my little league team, so I know when I see a good running back.
He knows dominant running style.
I know this.
Yeah.
And listen, this guy literally hits home runs. Like, he's literally home run touchdowns, not 80 yards, 70 yards, whatever it takes, he's getting touchdowns, like, no matter what. Also, I want to say, do not buy into the Steelers hype. I don't know if this has been said before, but do not buy into the Steelers hype.
Thank you.
They almost lost to the Cowboys, guys. The Cowboys.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Garrett Gilbert. No, that's not okay. And then my second thing is, right now, after this game, do you think Josh Allen is going to keep playing the way he did? Which I don't think so. So also don't buy into the hype, Bills Mafia.
Wow, interesting. So I agree and disagree with both of you today. So
whatever, Joe.
So
whatever.
I'm gonna give you my takeaway because it also weaves into all this. So I think, Taylor, talking about a clear-cut Super Bowl favorite. Sure, there isn't a clear-cut one, but I will be a homer. I think the Chiefs are probably the safest bet so far. And we were talking about the Panthers,
it's not like
right?
it's that far. It's not like it's that far. That's my point. It's not like, it's the Chiefs and then we got the Steelers. It's like everyone. I could see it happening anyway.
Well, see, here's the thing. I guess I don't really see that, and maybe that's my homer, feel over here. But I think
that's definitely your homer.
I think the Panthers with Christian McCaffrey. I watched most of this game on Sunday because I watching for the Chiefs. Obviously, the Panthers with Christian McCaffrey are a completely different team. And I know that's kind of like a layup to say. But what I mean by that is that I think with Christian McCaffrey, they're a playoff contender. If they had McCaffrey the whole last few weeks here when he was out, I think they're in that conversation for the NFC South. I honestly do. And I think the Panthers have surprised us. Obviously, they're in a rebuild this year, but they've surprised us more than we thought we could see. So that's what I feel like. Don't give me that look over there, Taylor.
You're just trying to build up. Well, the Chiefs are really good. They're beating quality teams. You're doing that classic college football ESPN BS.
No.
That's what you're doing.
No. Well, here's the thing with the Steelers, too. And we talked about this, I think it was last week or 2 weeks ago. The rest of their season is cake, right? They're undefeated. I said they were overhyped last week. But I also said they'll probably go undefeated because the only other real team they have to play is Baltimore again. That's it. So yeah,
they'll lose. I really think that Steelers will end up with 2 losses. That's my opinion.
I would not be surprised if they went over undefeated. I would not be surprised if they lost a couple games. But my point being is they play one other team that I see as an obvious loss there, right? So I think the Steelers are overhyped, and if you put them against some of these other teams, I mean, you're talking about the Packers, and you were scrubbing on the Packers 4 weeks ago. You said they were a sham. They were fake.
They are.
So then why are you saying that they're all of a sudden a Super Bowl contender?
I think that they can go off and they can have a great game, and I also think that the same thing about the Steelers. I think that it's they can have great games, but honestly, they just haven't played anybody.
I'm gonna
the cheat. What?
I'm going to pull that soundbite up again, and we'll revisit that. How about that?
I hate this podcast.
I love you too, Tay. All right, guys, let's jump into some news.
News from around the league.
All right, give me that thumbs down. Get out of here. All right, so a couple of injuries to talk about. We talked about CMC, had a great comeback, and now all of a sudden he's week to week with a shoulder injury. And unfortunately, the news today on Wednesday is not looking good. So if I had my bet, he probably won't play this weekend. We'll see. Yeah. But man, he looked fantastic in his comeback there. David Montgomery dealing with a concussion. David Johnson with a concussion. Can we talk for a second about the Bears? Like, what is going on with the Bears? Like, they started off so hot, and I was like, are they going to be like the sleeper, like 3 seed in the NFC? And now they are absolutely terrible. I'm thinking that like they're going to end up with a losing record. Nick Foles, like Foles' magic is just like turned down. Oh yeah, completely.
Listen, Nick Foles sucks, and I never believed he was good. Let's just say that. And the only thing good about the Bears' defense is the fact that they have Khalil Mack, and the only thing good about their offense is literally nothing. Yeah, it's been rough. That was my take a long time ago, is that the Bears would accidentally make the playoffs, and I firmly believe that. I mean, they still, the way the NFC looks, they still could. So those are pretty much the main injury notes from this week. Not too many other people got injured. Chris Godwin dealing with that finger still. Michael Thomas came back. Was, I think, limited today in practice, but should be fine going forward. I do want to talk about, we're not going to get into too much waiver wire stuff here, but I do want to, it's that time of week, I do want to get into this because on Sunday, Evan asked us, Derek and I, the commissioners, to pick up a player for him. Said that he was tired of playing Darius Slayton, who he said... After week two.
Can I get the quote?
Yeah. Okay. All right. Let me see if I can find it here.
Yeah. Get your phone out. Yeah. Get the quote because
you remember
this is ridiculous.
You remember what our bet was, right?
I forget what the bet was, but I remember just knowing that Evan was crazy.
I think it was top. It was top 18 receiver here as I go through my
top 18. Bruh.
But this guy said that maybe I don't have it anymore. This guy said that he wanted Josh Jacobs for Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton was the number 1 receiver in New York. Evan. Oh man. I love it.
It's like because 5 weeks in a row, Evan. Come on, man.
Well, every time I talk to Evan, every time I talk to Evan, he's like, "Oh man, I thought I played a clean week this week. Like I gave you no opportunities." And I still got to get an open there. So yeah. Other than that, some big trades that we have to talk about because Kevin is here. We have to talk about these trades. First of all, we'll talk about the other trades before we get to yours, Kevin. The Teddy Brewskis send David Johnson for Terry McLaurin from Cowboys That Suck. And the Teddy Brewskis also send Chase Edmonds and Justin Jefferson for Chris Godwin from the injured reserves. So I was doing a little wheeling and dealing here.
My opinion, I like the first one you mentioned, David Johnson for Terry McLaurin. I like that trade for you. However, the second trade, Chase Edmonds for Justin Jefferson for Chris Godwin, I do not like that one.
See,
I think that Chris Godwin is like, he's not really been a part of this offense. Tom Brady operates on trust. He has rarely played. Rob Gronkowski is now becoming a thing. And then you've got AB, now you're thrown into the mix, along with Mike Evans. Too many mouths to feed. I would have rather hung on to Justin Jefferson. And Chase Edmonds, that dude gets touchdowns.
So my reasoning behind this was if you look at Justin Jefferson, well, first of all, Kenyon Drake is back at practice. Looks like he'll be a factor again. Justin Jefferson, if you look at his playoff week schedule, very tough. If you look at Chris Godwin's, it's like Atlanta, Seattle, Detroit. And I am in the camp that Antonio Brown is cutting into Mike Evans's production. So I took a gamble on Chris Godwin, and this is the time of year that I'm just taking gambles and seeing, sure, maybe it'll pay off, maybe it won't. But
bold strategy, Cotton. We'll see how it works out for you.
I like this deal for me.
I didn't like that at all.
We got to talk about this though. And Lisa sends Aaron Jones for Mike Evans and CD Lamb from Pooch Top Joe Bottom. Kevin, what are you doing?
See Joe, this is like I said, I don't believe Aaron Jones is that good. I know he had 40 points against the Lions, and like I told you before, is that's the only thing that's carrying his average. Like, he literally broke 20 like twice. I think less running backs have done that. You know what I mean? Like, it's literally like lower running backs have had better points than him during the week, and he's been injured for the past 2 weeks and not playing. And I'm really pissed to the fact that I woke up one Sunday morning and he wasn't playing. He was literally going to play the day before, and I woke up and he was out. So Aaron Jones, he means nothing to me now. So I just shipped him the Pooch.
Here's my thing, though. You could have gotten so much more for Aaron Jones.
I know, but like what I was looking at, I needed receivers, and that was the way I was going to go. And I would have felt bad. Like I would have felt bad for doing that to Pooch, honestly.
See, now here's the thing, because this has come up with. I want to give a little PSA to everybody in the league here. This has come up a couple times. This is maybe the second or third time I've heard this year. People making trades because they feel bad because they said they'd do it and then they don't. You should never make a trade because you feel bad.
This is guys, be ruthless. Be ruthless. We want that. Like, I talk about that with Joe sometimes. I'm like, Joe, I'm pissed at you because you did the thing that I would have done, which is be absolutely heartless.
Yep. That's fantasy football, boys.
The way I felt about Pooch was like the little orphan on Christmas Day, and I gave him a nice little gift. You know what I mean? Like, I made his, like, that's what happened. Like, my heart feels full now. You know what I mean?
So you're saying, I would agree with that. You're saying the only way that Pooch can win is if we help him out. Yeah, I would say that's probably true.
That was good. Hey, Joe, you're a real Skip Bayless, man.
You know what? He's going to tear me apart because I can't even talk. He beat me by like 132 weeks ago. So, oh well. So, sorry, Pooch. Love you, buddy. All right, guys, let's look at some matchups from this past week.
Matchup recap.
Matchup recap. First matchup of the weekend. The Teddy Brewskis gotcha, Kevin. Teddy Brewskis taking over and Lisa 126 to 118.15. It was close, though. I was pretty nervous. I mean, you had Aaron Rodgers go off on Thursday night for 31 points, almost 32 points. But yeah, I had a low scoring week, but had some contributors from Justin Herbert and Terry McLaurin.
Yeah, Joe, I had help from absolutely no one. That's what pretty much happened when it came down to it. I was depending on Damian Harris to get me there, just get me to the top, and he just couldn't do it for me. And then all of a sudden, Joe Flacco turned to actual quarterback, and the Patriots defense sucked because Joe Flacco was out here throwing dimes, man.
I was honestly nervous when I saw Patriots defense on your lineup because they were playing the Jets, right? And it's a good defense.
I know. I was ready for that. I was like, Joe's going to be surprised that I'm playing this defense. And I was like, the Jets are literally going to give me so many points. No, Joe Flacco is apparently Joe Montana.
I guess so. I will tell you, it was a sweaty night Monday for me. But, fortunately, Scaren's Terrence, my background today, coming through for me.
Well, I feel this way. Okay, let me ask you this. So Tim tried to ship me Terry McLaurin for Joe Mixon. And I was kind of like, I kind of like Joe Mixon's upside here. But then the next week, I traded Joe Mixon for Robbie Anderson. Okay? And now I'm thinking and then Joe Mixon hasn't started a game yet. And now I'm kind of regretting, should I have done the Robbie Anderson trade like I did, or should I have gone for Terry McLaurin? What do you think?
I think I'd rather have Robbie. I think
you should went Scary Terry, bro. I think you should have won Scary Terry.
Yeah, I think he's the only option. I mean, I'm happy that I made the trade, though, because, Joe hasn't played. Mixon hasn't played since then, but...
Yeah. I haven't played either in the NFL, but, I'll make my start sometime. Next game of the week, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air coming on top over the Cowboys that suck, 113.45 to 103.75. It was the duel of the quarterbacks in this game. Kyler Murray, 40.75 points, and Josh Allen, 40.15. But Derek squeezes one out here. Another win for Derek. And how about this one? Oh, boy. He came on the pod last week and said it was going to happen. The injured reserves beating Stat Padford 145.45.
What is going on?
To 112.2. I'll tell you what's going on. It's DK Metcalf is what's going on. 23.8 fantasy points. He's a beast, man. He's a beast.
That and Atlanta. I mean, like, Atlanta's just been, like I said earlier, like, they've just been feeding ever since Dan Quinn has left the team. But now he's got Gurley getting 13.5. I'll take that week to week. And then you got Julio Jones 16.4, Hayden Hurst 13.2. That's just solid numbers. I cannot believe that this triple stack of the Atlanta Falcons is working.
It's literally when the Falcons win, so does Kelsey.
Let me tell you something about Kelsey. Literally, the fact that he's doing so good, he's doing way better than me right now, it makes me feel like I'm in some type of hell. I'm all messed up from it. It's hurting me. But congratulations to you, Kelsey. Keep grinding.
Oh,
Win the
man.
championship this year.
There you go. All right. Next game of the week, the AB Redemption Arcs coming out on top over AJ's Brownies, 131.85 to 111.55. We talked about it. The resurgence of Christian McCaffrey with 37.1 fantasy points. And then Devontae Adams keeps eating 33.3. Man, I think once Evan gets CMC back fully, it's dangerous. I mean, his team is stellar with CMC.
I'm just so upset the fact that Christian McCaffrey has, like, basically broken fantasy football. Like, it's so depressing. It's so depressing that, like, unless you get the 101 and you're able to get him. Also, can we look back to the fact that your boy Marshall took Lamar Jackson over CMC? Like, even with CMC taking those weeks off, he's still, like, unbelievable. I mean, he's incredible what he's able to do.
Yeah. Yeah, he's
Tom Brady getting 4.45 points.
Oof, that hurts.
Nobody
saw that coming. The 38-3. That was, oh gosh, and
that was bad.
Yeah, last game of the week. Hooked on a Thielen. Can we just say?
You said that this was going to be the game of the week, and I told you. I wrote it on our little podcast outline document that you made. This is not the game of the week. I called this from a mile away. I'm going to get crushed, and that's what happened.
That's exactly what happened. You lost to Pooch Top Joe Bottom, 174.4 to 92.1. It was the Dalvin Cook show again with 39.2 fantasy points, over 200 yards. I mean, what can't this guy do?
Like, his quarterback, one running back, and tight end beat my team by themselves. Yeah. I can't compete. And also I want to say James Conner, Pittsburgh, undefeated. They're playing Dallas, like one of the worst defense, like the worst defense in the league. I get 4 points out of it. Are you kidding me? I can't compete with that.
I feel your pain. Don't worry, you're playing me this week, so you'll probably get a dub. All right, standings. Quick look at the standings in the East. Fresh Prince of Bel-Air on top at 6-3, but tied with the AB Redemption Arcs, also at 6-3. AJ's Brownies at 4-5 in the 3 spot. Cowboys that suck at 2-7. Kevin, you're down at number 5. And Lisa at 1-8. In the West, Stat Padford still on top at 7-2. Pooch Top Joe Bottom at 6-3, along with the Teddy Brewskis at 6-3. Hooked on a Thielen at 4-5, and the injured reserves down at 3-6.
Power rankings. Hooah.
Another set of power rankings. A little interesting this week, actually. We got Kevin's in with ours here.
In quotations, Kevin's rankings.
I'll tell you this. Kevin's rankings were spot on, except for the where we start and where we end with him. We'll talk about it because
it looks so good to me.
We have to. All right, coming in consensus number 10. Unfortunately, Kevin, it's you and Lisa.
Despite your best efforts to collude and create you not being in last place.
Can you tell us who you had at number 10, Kevin?
Number 10, I had Pooch Top Joe Bottom. I thought that would help me out a little bit, boost my ranking. Apparently, this show has a problem with me.
And where did you have yourself, Kevin?
Number one.
Clearly. Number 1 because of the one win you have, right?
Dude, I'm number 1 and you guys oh my god.
I couldn't resist myself.
Hey, only Joe and Pooch can laugh at that because they're the only champions with me. Okay.
There we go. All right.
So let's get that right.
Hey, I respect that. I respect
Address
that.
me as champ. You know what I mean? As champ.
You are a champ. That's true. All right, coming in at number 9, Cowboys that suck. It's been kind of a rough go for Tim here lately. Yeah, he's started off strong, consistency, just getting unlucky in games, and now just kind of been a struggle for some of his players. We'll see if he's able to turn it around. Number 8, injured reserves, and Thomas was right calling the comeback here. Don't call it a comeback.
He's the scariest. He's the scariest one, I feel like, to play. Well, obviously, like, you don't want to play Pooj. You don't want to play the people at the top. But he's scary. Like, I do not want to play the injured. Like, yes, he's ranked 8th, and I think that's where he's supposed to be. But yikes, do not want to play him week to week.
And here's the thing, too, is like we'll get into it a little bit later because there is a chance he makes the playoffs. But even if he doesn't, he's kind of just there to, like, he's kind of got that mentality of just, I'm gonna wreck some stuff up, and that's the way it's going. And you're right, it is scary. I play him in a couple weeks and I'm nervous. So coming in at 7, AJ's Brownies. Still a shot to make the playoffs here for Marshall. So just couple rough weeks here, but definitely can turn it around and squeeze into the playoff picture here. Hooked on a Thielen coming in at number 6. Same thing with you, Taylor. You're still here and able to make a push for the playoffs. Just kind of hanging.
Well, right now I'm in the playoffs, but it's just like I got to defend. I got to do everything I can to stay above. And honestly, at this point, I'm just rooting for Marshall and Kelsey to lose. Sorry, this beer is really working now.
I guess
it's okay. I'm on your mind, Taylor. That's what happens when you look at me sometimes. That's what happens when you look at me, man. All the ladies go through it. Everybody goes through it, baby.
I love it. All right, coming in at number 5. Bit of a surprise here. The AB Redemption Arcs coming in middle of the pack here.
The resurrection. Redemption.
Well, now I say a little bit of a surprise because I guess, looking at the teams above them, I can see it. But also, Evan's team, he's tied for first in the East. It almost makes you think he should be a little bit higher here. But definitely in that conversation for winning the division. And remember, because of the division format that we have, if you win the division, you're going to get either the 1 or the 2 seed and automatic bye. So a lot on the line there for Evan. Teddy Bruschi's coming in at number 4. I'm just hold my own here, hoping to get a couple more wins to finish out the season. I am nervous. I've got a very tough schedule ahead of me, though. We'll see if I can hold it together here. And coming in at number 3, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. Yes, tied for first in the East once again.
This is where things got a little bit woogity. Some people had so let's see here. I had Fresh Prince at number 4.
Correct, and it looks
Joe,
like
you had him at 2, and Kevin also had him at 2.
Kevin, we both had him at 2. Now Kevin's in the same division as Derek, so you play him twice. His team's good, right?
Yeah, Derek's team is pretty solid. The fact is, I feel like Derek has one of the best chances to actually win this thing, especially with Kyler Murray. Like, they're literally going to be playing to win every single game, and the fact that Kyler Murray has a chance of putting up 30 points to 40 points, and Derek's running backs are looking pretty good, I feel like he can actually win this thing.
Yeah, he's got Derrick Henry, and Derrick Henry gets better when the temperature drops.
Yeah, dude, Derrick Henry's going to stiff arm everyone to the championship.
We're getting late November, early December. It's cold. Break out Derrick Henry because that's when he shines.
You were all saying this right now, but he also scored 6.8 points this past week. So Derek's probably well, maybe. Hey,
Taylor with the facts. Look at you, man.
I'll trade Derek. I will trade for Derrick Henry. Shout out. Just come hit me up. All right, coming in at number 2. Stat Padford took a loss this week. Still, solid team. Gets Michael Thomas back. I like his chances, but a little bit of a fall from that. Maybe 3 weeks ago when he was clearly
above and beyond the greatest team.
Correct.
And, he doesn't have Michael Thomas out there, but Keenan Allen has been absolutely balling out.
Oh, Keenan Allen! I love Keenan Allen, man. Good. And who thought we would have said that with Justin Herbert in as quarterback. And coming in at number one, consensus number one, except for Kevin, because he was your number 10 player. But Pooch Top Joe Biden coming in at number one. Dalvin Cook looks sweet. Made the Aaron Jones trade. Solid team, comes off another 174-point win this week. That's, back-to-back weeks of scoring 170 plus. So he's got the best team in the league right now.
Pooch is looking real nasty right now. His team is looking. It's crazy how many points he's putting up, man. And it's scary the fact that he broke my record. I hate that because I just found out I had a record 2 weeks ago. And it was broken literally like the next day. Mad about that.
Yeah. Your text in the group was literally like, "Wait a second, I have the record."
Yeah, I had no clue, man. I had no clue. Then I'm literally texting Pooch like, "Hey, bro, don't break the record. Like, just give me some of your points,
Oh my gosh, I love it. All right, guys, let's take a look at this coming week.
Matchup preview.
First game of the week here, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air at 6-3, taking on AJ's Brownies at 4-5. A chance for Marshall to gain a game here in the East. Big game here. But, man, again, Derek's team still looking solid. He's primed for a solid finish here. I think he might take this game.
I definitely think he will. I mean, honestly, I'm just so rooting for Marshall to lose. That's kind of my mindset going forward. I will do anything to stay in the playoffs, just to stay relevant.
Ooh, fighting words there. All right, next game of the week. Pooch Top Joe Bottom at 6-3, taking on the injured reserves at 3-6.
That beer is really working there, Joe, isn't it? What percent? What percent we got going on?
So I told the guys I went for about a 45-minute ride, heavy hill workout on the bike this afternoon. Came back, still haven't eaten since lunch, and this is a 13.5% beer. So it's catching.
Bro, that looked like it smacked you in the face and gave you a stroke just then.
It's catching up with me, boys. Pooch Top Joe Bottom taking on the injured reserves. Again, I think Pooch has got this game, but we've gotten to that point where Kelsey's team. I mean, again, we said it earlier. He's the dark horse. He's coming after everybody just to kind of mess things up, and I love it. I love to see it, and it makes me nervous. So maybe Pooch is a little bit nervous about this game, but that trade really puts him ahead in my mind. And next game of the week here. All right, Kevin, you gotta talk us through this. It's the Cowboys that suck at 2-7. So the second worst. This is maybe. I won't say it because that's karma. Cowboys that suck at 2-7, taking on and Lisa at 1-8. Two worst records in the league right now. That could definitely change. So talk us through this. Are you trying to come up to Tim's level here?
So I want to say that I'm going to win this weekend. No doubt. Even if I have to come to Tim's house and beat him up, I'm going to win. You know what I mean? Like, Adam Thielen better have a good game, or it's going to be problems because he's been sucking this whole fantasy from me. He better have a good game. And Aaron Rodgers, I got faith in him against the Jaguars. So, I just feel like I'm going to win this.
All right.
Stephon Diggs against Arizona secondary. It's kind of tough, but I feel like I'll get this.
Now, I also want to talk about this, too, because you're playing Tim. You brought it up in the intro to the show. Your team name involved Tim for, I think, 2 seasons. Do you have a vendetta against Tim?
So I hate Tim. I've hated him since I first met him. I first met him. What was that? There was one game we all went to.
You can't even remember because you hate him so much.
Yeah, exactly. I hate him so much. Like, when we were playing 2K, you should ask everybody. I just hate Tim. Like, when he talks, I just like, oh my god, dude, Tim is just the worst, man, the worst.
Oh my gosh. Oh, I love it. All right, Tim, you got your work cut out for you here against Kevin this week. Next game of the week. Oh, here we go, Tay, round 2. Teddy Brewski's at 6-3, taking on Hooked on a Thielen at 4-5. I am so nervous because, like I said earlier, I've got a very tough schedule the rest of the way. I just have to win. But I'm so nervous, man.
I definitely think the players on my team can go off. They can go off at any given moment. And like last week, I think that last week was a very poor representation of my team. I mean, James Conner getting 4 points. That has never happened all year. That was an aberration. I feel really good about James Conner going up against the Bengals. All right. Got DeAndre Hopkins going up against Buffalo, and their defense is not proven to be very good. I feel really good, but I need some guys to be boom here. Can't have any busts.
Yeah. It's gonna be tough sledding here for both of us. I think another fight to the finish here.
You got Justin Herbert. Are you going with him for the rest of the season?
It's tough. I love his schedule minus maybe 1 or 2 games. He hasn't given me a reason not to play him so far. I know the matchup. I know Miami's defense is actually pretty good, surprisingly. But we'll roll with him for now and see what happens. But yeah, I mean, he's been lights out. Love to see that. So we'll see. We'll see what I end up doing. And game of the week, Thomas, you're in it again. Stat Padford at 7-2 versus the AB Redemption Arcs at 6-3. This is a huge game. Both are in first place in their divisions. Remember, Evan is tied for first in the East. I mean, he's got to go basically step for step with Derek here. A chance to, this is a big game because if think about it, if Derek loses, Evan wins. All of a sudden, we're looking at Evan being in that. I think I'd have to look at the points for, but there's a possibility Evan all of a sudden jumps into the 1 seed because he's the same record as Thomas and he's above Derek in terms of record. So lots at stake here. Before we get into those scenarios, though, why don't we just start this segment? We've got a whole segment dedicated to it, so let's get right to it, boys.
Road to the ship.
All right, the road to the ship, the championship here, boys. All right, so I've got it's week 9, post week 9. We've got our highly coveted fantasy football playoff projection calculator data here from the league database. If you want to go look at the numbers, you can dive in to those on the league database under one of the tabs. I do want to say this is an imperfect thing that just looks at your scores from the whole season. So that means that this is skewed and percentages change on the week. We saw that last year, but it's still fun to kind of have these conversations. So we're going to do it. All right. So right now, the projected 1 seed Stat Padford, he has a 100% chance of making the playoffs at this moment. The strength of his remaining schedule is 2. So he's got a tough sledding ahead of him. But right now, he's got the 1 seed as the West Division winner. I mean, do we think it holds? We'll see.
Mm-hmm. I think it will. I think that's the way it's going to work out. But you just don't know. I mean, Pooch just needs to have 2 really great weeks, and I don't know. I don't know whether to believe that Pooch's last couple weeks. Obviously, he scored so many points. I don't know if that's just kind of like, all of his guys are going off, or I just don't know what to think. I think part of me is still on Team Thomas, but I don't know.
Another episode where Taylor trashes Pooch, and coming in at the 2 seed.
Okay, pause. I am not trashing.
I'm just kidding. I
think you are, Taylor. I think you are, honestly.
Excuse me, Kevin. You put him number 10 in your rankings. Excuse me.
Hey, all I see is a hater, Taylor. That's all I see.
Oh man, rough. All right, the projected 2 seed at this moment, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, 100% chance of making the playoffs at this time. And here's the kicker: the strength of the remaining schedule is 10. Yeah.
Well, gosh darn it, the East is so weak this year. You got your boys over here in the West sweating it out.
They're slugging it out in the West, Taylor. Yeah, the East.
And then the East is a cakewalk.
They must be playing me all the rest of the games.
There you go. Right now, Derek projected as the East Division winner. Coming into the first wild card spot, the 3 seed, Pooch top, Joe bottom, 100% chance of making the playoffs at this time. Strength of the remaining schedule is 6. That's why I think we could possibly see him overtake Thomas to be the 1 seed as the West Division winner. We'll see what happens. It's going to be a slugfest to the end, like we were saying in the West. Coming at the projected 4 seed, the Teddy Brewskis, 100% chance of making the playoffs at this time. Strength of the remaining schedule, though, is 3. And that's what I was talking about. I've got a very tough schedule ahead. I think that 100%, get out of here with your air violin.
Play the imaginary violin for you, Joe. Poor me. My schedule's hard.
I'm not taking anything for granted here. We got to fight it out to the end. Coming in at the projected 5 seed, the AB Redemption Arcs, 95% chance of making the playoffs. Strength of remaining schedule is 5. So he does have a chance to overtake Derek in the East. This is going to be a fun kind of fight to watch over the next couple weeks between Derek and Evan to see who takes away.
But the real fun fight to watch is what's coming up right here in the number 6 and 7 spot.
All right, yeah, this is actually that's true because this is getting very interesting here. This projected 6 seed at this moment, hooked on a Thielen. That's you, Taylor.
Let's go!
47% chance to make the playoffs with a strength of remaining schedule at 4.
Not great. Not what you want to see.
Again, well, we were talking about it. The West is tough, and you're the guy you're trying to fend off. You've been talking about it all show. AJ's Brownies.
He's not good, but he will get in and he'll beat me because his division is full of Kevins.
Oh, that's hurtful.
And it's full of Tims.
Ouch.
That's why I'm not going to make the playoffs.
Karma's going to come get you. So AJ's Brownies.
Kevin's going to come and get you, bro.
AJ's Brownies, a 53% chance to make the playoffs with a strength of remaining schedule at 8. So he does projectedly have a better, is that even a word, projectedly?
Projectedly.
Have
Can we get a
better rest of schedule than you. So this is going to be fun to watch. You guys are slugging it out. I love it.
Yeah, if I were to projectedly look ahead into the future, I think that I'm going to end up losing because guess what? He's got Tim and he's got Kevin in his division. Ridiculous.
Ouch. We will see.
Keep taking shots.
Coming in at the projected 8 seed, the injured reserves. Now, I said
he is going to wipe the floor with the poop playoff bracket. You know what I'm talking about? The bottom 4, the poop bowl we got going on. He is going to destroy in that bracket.
I think so. And here's the thing. And I said that Kelsey has a chance to make the playoffs. Now, I think this percent chance is going to drastically change if he keeps winning. Right now, Kelsey, you have projected a 1% chance of making the playoffs. I mean, I think your chances are actually higher than that. But the hard part is here, your strength of remaining schedule is number 1. So you've got the hardest schedule in the rest of the league.
You know why it's number 1? Because he's in the West. Because the West has actual competition.
I guess so.
Taylor, bro.
This is a fight between the West.
Tupac vibes right now, dude.
I love it.
Some Biggie Tupac vibes.
The projected 9 seed, the Cowboys that suck. 4% chance of making the playoffs again, maybe because he plays in the East. I don't know. Taylor would say so. Strength of the remaining schedule is at 7. He's the projected 9 seed. And coming in, the projected 10 seed. Kevin, I don't know if this is real. It could change if you win this weekend. You're at a 0% chance to make the playoffs right now, but you've got a strength of remaining schedule at 9.
That's even good for me, but Joe, like I said, I have a nice little thing to talk about this whole thing, you know, and like this isn't just a podcast, guys. Like I have a little surprise for you guys, you know.
Oh no!
Oh,
you know what I mean?
Oh, he's getting up.
I had to get something set up for you, you know. I had to, you know.
Is this a presentation?
Pretty much. This is.
Oh my gosh!
This is I got my suit jacket on because this is my funeral, my fantasy football funeral. You know what I mean? It's pretty much over for me. You know what? And also, Taylor is to blame for it. Taylor is karma. Taylor is karma. I played him the second week, and both my running backs got injured. Like it's all Taylor's fault. I don't even know Taylor that much, but I want to come to Texas and just break that keyboard you have in the back of you because it's all your fault. You know what I mean? Like legit.
I did not give you the kiss of death.
Adam Thielen's also on Taylor's favorite team, and he's doing bad. So literally, it all comes down to Taylor. He's the problem. Like, I honestly think we should vote him out the league. You know what I mean? I know he's in the podcast, but I think we should just get rid of him, Joe. I think we should get rid of him. He's the problem. I am a champ usually, and right now, I'm looking like Taylor. You know what I mean? never won a championship.
Kevin, I have one request out of all of this, and I have been known to advocate for several name changes on the pod. You hate Tim. You had him in your team name for 2 years. I think it's time to put Taylor in your team name.
After this podcast, that was the plan. It's going down, man. My hate for Taylor has literally just keeps boiling up, and I'm over it, Joe. I'm gonna have to come to Texas, Taylor. You're gonna see me in Texas, East versus West. You know what I mean?
I love that the fact that your two running backs on your team, the fact that they got injured, it's not the fault of the real NFL teams they played. It's Taylor's fault.
Well, I choose to look at it like this. I beat your butt so bad that I made you the 0% chance to make the playoffs. So I'll choose to take it as a positive here.
Oh, your bad luck of not winning a championship in our league is what got me. You know,
ouch!
Really, just all that juju just got right into my ESPN app.
Living in the glory now. Living in the glory days, Kevin. Yeah, man.
Dude, next year is going to be amazing. I hope you know that. I'm going to win next year for sure.
Oh man, boy. Yeah. High school is great. Yeah, living in the glory days of the past.
Call it a day. You know what I mean?
Oh my gosh, I love it. I absolutely
fantasy
funeral. All right, guys, you know what time it is. It's time to laugh more. We've got some terrible dad jokes for you.
You laugh, you lose. Football edition.
Another episode of You Laugh, You Lose. You know the rules. You laugh, you lose. All right, who wants to start out here? We've got several jokes here.
I have several, and mine are. I don't know. I'm gonna go with kind of an easy one. Okay, don't want to go too deep. Don't want to give away on mine. Easy.
All right.
So, what do you call a fish with no eye?
What?
I don't know.
A fish.
Oh, that's terrible.
That was pretty easy not to laugh at.
Thanks. Now I feel great about myself. Good. My ego definitely feeling good.
Kevin, you want to go next?
All right. Yeah. Let's hear it, Kevin.
Yeah. Here we go. What insect doesn't play well in football?
Insect?
Yes.
Oh man. I don't know. A beetle?
You ready? The bumblebee.
I think Kevin laughing at his own joke is what
I think
Kevin loses because he's
Kevin
laughing at his joke.
What? It was so funny. What are you talking about?
It was so funny.
Bumblebee?
Oh my gosh.
Boo. Next.
All right. Let's see. I've got a couple here. Let's start out with this one. John Gruden has 3 carpets. Do you know what he calls the last one? Ruggs the Third.
What?
Oh, come on, man! Like Henry
Ruggs. You're trying to go Henry Ruggs on us right now?
Oh yeah, because Kevin tried to trade him or get him for Aaron Jones, so I had to throw him in there.
Killing me. All right. What did the drummer call his twin daughters?
Flam and Rimshot?
No. Anna 1, Anna 2.
Oh God.
Come on, you're hiding your face. Come on, you got to give that to me.
Yeah.
I didn't laugh though. I was about to laugh, and then I remembered that I'm not supposed to laugh because it was such a bad joke. Terrible.
I'm gonna be a great dad.
I got a really good one. This is my haymaker. All right, guys.
Oh boy.
This is my haymaker. You ready?
Yeah.
All right. What does Tim and Lamar Jackson have in common?
Tim and Tim Wright?
Yeah, Tim Wright and Lamar Jackson.
I don't know.
They always come up short when it comes to a big performance.
Oh my gosh, I love the Tim hate. Yes.
Oh, the Tim hate. Oh gosh.
So good.
Oh gosh. All right, wait, is it my turn? I can't remember.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. All you, Joe.
Let's see. Oh man, I've got so many terrible ones to think or to use here. How about this one? What did SpongeBob ask Mr. Krabs?
What?
Did you guys watch SpongeBob, first of all?
Yeah, I was.
Okay,
I was.
Ready?
I was a kid, so yeah.
Are you feeling it now, Mr. Krabs?
That sucks.
Oh, come on!
That's terrible.
That's
That's terrible.
Oh, boo.
Don't worry. This next one's terrible too. All right, this is a real, true trivia question. Okay, let's get away from the jokes. Let's get to the real trivia here.
Okay.
What's the least spoken language in the world?
Oh man, is it like a Eskimo
Okay,
language like that?
that's your guess.
That would
Okay,
be my
Kevin,
guess.
your guess.
I think Inuit isn't that the?
I honestly have no clue.
Okay, so what's the least spoken language in the world? Sign language. Come on, that's
All right,
good.
I'll laugh at that. That's good.
Creative.
I like
Give
that
me some
one.
points for creativity
That's
here.
All I
pretty
saw was
good.
a person just making signs in my head, dude.
That's pretty good. I like that. Oh, gosh.
There we go. All right, we got.
You
This
got
is
another
last
one for us,
Kevin.
Kev?
All right. Man, dude. Okay, why do ballet dancers make such good NFL kickers?
They do.
'Cause
Why?
They're on their toes all the time.
They know how to split the uprights.
Oh my gosh. Love that.
What? What?
It makes no sense, but it's funny.
I guess I don't understand that. Okay, all right. I've got one here for you, boys. Why does Nick Foles hate vegetables?
Is this going to be a slam on the high school I teach at?
Nope.
Is that what this is going to be?
Nope.
Okay, all right. Well, I don't know.
Well, he was just never a fan of gardeners. Get it?
Like Gardner Minshew?
Yeah, I
I'm
got
done.
you. I
I'm
got
done.
you. I got
I'm
you.
done. I'm done with this. I'm done with this.
Oh man, you gotta love the dad jokes, right? I mean,
Gotta love them.
yeah, they're
Big
just
fan. Big fan.
They're so bad, they're good.
You laugh, you lose. Football edition.
Classic with the Kawhi laugh.
God, the
Gotta love
Kawhi
it,
laugh.
man. Gotta love it. Oh man, another rousing episode of the pod. All right, well, hey, that's all we got for you this week. What is it tonight? Colts at Titans. Is this the start of Derrick Henry's takeover?
Cold
here?
weather,
Cold
Eskimo
weather?
take over the world. Yeah, probably.
I think so.
100%. 100%.
The Iceman is out for names. He's gonna have watch him have 3 touchdowns tonight. All right, boys. We will see you next week for another episode of the Official League Podcast. Kevin, my dude, thanks for coming on.
Thanks for being here.
Your rant.
Hey, thank you guys.
Your rant was
love it. I love
wonderful.
being here. Hey, thank you guys. I love being on this podcast. You know, I should be a guest every single time. Like I said, it's going to be the most viewed podcast, Joe. I appreciate you guys for putting me on.
We gotta get Poojan and Kevin on. That would be great.
yeah,
Kevin,
dude.
I'm holding you to it. We better have the most views on YouTube from this
Dude,
pod.
you better have everybody start looking at the YouTube channel. Check it out. I'm about to be a star after this.
That's
you know?
right. Tell your friends he's moving to Hollywood. All right, boys. Peace out. We'll see you next week, guys. See you later.
All right, it's good seeing you.
See ya.
Thank you for listening to another episode of the Bands Make Her Dance Fantasy Football League Podcast.